Let's continue with Module 1, Introduction to Real Estate Investing. This is our course objective and overview. First, let's establish a couple basic facts. Fact number 1, most people wish they had more money. Money being wealth, some combination of income and assets, also closely related to security and freedom. The whole point of having money and wealth is mainly having more security in life and more freedom in life. Fact number 2, real estate is the most common and accessible vehicle for building and preserving wealth. Why is that? Well, real estate builds wealth in a number of ways at the same time. These ways include cash flow. This is your periodic excess of income over expenses. You have appreciation, which is in two forms with real estate. One, you have a forced appreciation where you can increase the value quickly by your own active involvement to rehab, for example, in the short term to take it from a previous condition in value to a new condition in value. And then you have your second form of appreciation, which is a market-based appreciation, gradual increases in value, long-term growth over time. When you have assets like this, with financing, hopefully to increase the number of assets you have and the appreciation of your assets is large and growing, that compounding effect is very, very powerful for the appreciation aspect. The debt paydown, when you have a financing in place, financing mechanism in place for your property holding, you're going to have a debt payment. When you have the rental income from a tenant on the investment property, that income is going to pay for the debt. Over time, your debt obligation goes down. Meanwhile, your appreciation is going up, so your equity increases over time and quickly. Also, tax benefits for real estate holdings are significant. You can offset other income with your tax holdings and certain deductions that are allowed. In general, having real estate holdings is very beneficial for tax reasons, and almost all wealthy people end up in real estate for this and many other reasons. So, in conclusion, it's awfully important and useful to know how to invest in real estate successfully, and using financing to do so increases and accelerates the benefits. That's the purpose of this course, to help you navigate financing and get it quickly and efficiently into place for your real estate holdings and wealth to grow faster. So, what is our objective in this course? We want to provide foundational, actionable knowledge on the essential financing component of real estate investments with a specific focus on using non-bank asset-based financing, aka hard money, to acquire, rehab, and refinance investment properties in order to successfully start building long-term real estate property holdings for the purpose of wealth building. Furthermore, to get to this point, fully understand what kind of preparation and organization is needed to do this. So we'll help you do all kinds of things in this course, but here are a few to mention right now. We're going to help you assess if you are ready to start real estate investing from a financial, strategic, and mindset standpoint. We want to help you know how to get everything set up correctly from your entity standpoint and the like, so that you have a basic appreciation for legal and tax considerations, among other things. We'll help you get prepared and organized to apply for the financing. Knowing what kind of documentation to expect to have to supply, what kind of process to be ready for, and get the best possible terms based on your particular financial situation and particular project you're after. Helping you know what terms to expect in general for both the short-term and long-term financing within the BRRRR financing investment strategy, and potentially be confident enough to obtain your own financing. You can go out there yourself and find most of this financing if you know what you're doing. Alternatively, if you don't have enough time or desire to navigate that world, you can use an intermediary expert like a broker. Some are really great, some are questionable. Be careful when you're dealing with an intermediary expert. But in general, they're supposed to provide a service for you to get this financing quickly and competently, so that you don't have to. But if you don't want to use a broker, having this course and knowledge in your back pocket is going to help you get the financing directly without asking anybody for help anymore. So what happens if you don't have the knowledge that you're going to acquire with the rest of this course? If you've never taken this course, if you never complete it, what may happen out there in the real estate investing world? First, you may never take the first step. You may not have the confidence to know where to begin. You may have a fear of not being perfect in your knowledge or preparation. Your actions may not be perfect. You're afraid of making a mistake. You just have some type of analysis paralysis with not being able to make the first move. Second, you may be able to have some knowledge that you've gained, you've been researching, you feel like you can succeed out there, but you really don't know the concrete first step when it moves from theory into reality. You can't start the transaction. You have a lack of awareness with, the particular steps to take to get things in motion. You just don't know how or when to pull the trigger on the first one. Next, you could have failure to complete a transaction. You have the ability to go out there, take the step to look at properties, make an offer, put some earnest money deposit on the contract in good faith, but now you don't know how to get the financing quickly and in time. You may not be getting the best terms, or you don't want to complete the transaction if you feel like you're getting terrible terms and you just can't find the financing solution that you need. You could have a very painful and slow process if you do eventually get approved and closed, but you're feeling like you're having a bad experience. You're getting asked for documents to be improved or completed. Your setup of things is not good, so a lot of stuff has to be corrected during the approval process. Your credit and liquidity has issues, and you have to fix those somehow. You're just being continually asked to supply information. A slow process. It goes weeks and weeks. You might not get approved. You eventually get approved, and you're like, I never want to do that again. That's possible without good financing knowledge. You may get through the process reasonably well, but at the end of the day, you may get poor financing results from a financial standpoint. It could be excessive fees charged to you. You're getting poor interest rates above the market. You're having that bad experience. You feel like you're just getting a bad deal, ripped off, taken advantage of. You don't like the lenders. You're just not trusting them. You're just having a poor deal in the end, and you just feel like this is not going to go well for you financially. And finally, you may have some legal inefficiencies and risks that are coming from moving too quick through the initial stages without getting your house in order for tax and liability issues for your business entity creation, your insurance and the like. We don't want to fail to minimize the tax obligations. We want to pay the taxes that we owe, but nothing more. Paying more taxes than you legally owe is not great for your long-term wealth creation. Liability exposure on property holdings can be significant. We don't want to involve unnecessary liability to have your assets at risk. All of which may in the end contribute to your failure to build wealth through real estate. That's the purpose of this course. And by taking this course and having this knowledge, we feel like you're going to have a much better chance to navigate this world and get to your end destination. So this course is for aspiring or lightly experienced real estate investors who might be one or more of the following. First of all, you may be curious about the BRRRR method, for example, but need the full process explained in more detail, step by step. You may be motivated. You see others having the fun in real estate, building wealth, doing very well financially, seeming to be in control of these things, and you want to know how they are doing it. You're really eager to get your own process started and taking great steps for your own financial future. You may be confused or frustrated. You've been researching these topics for a while, not making much progress, getting conflicting information possibly, getting too many pathways or ideas to go down and then stopping and starting. You're just kind of stuck in neutral and spinning your wheels, so to speak. You may be overwhelmed. Perhaps you are past the confused or frustrated part and you feel like you got to really take action to do something quickly. Perhaps you're considering an expensive training or coaching program as a solution to magically wipe all of this away and get started very quickly moving forward. But some of these coaching programs, they offer the services for $5, $10, $20,000 to new investors, and you feel like you've saved some amount of money like that, and you want to invest that type of money as a down payment or something like that. But now in a coaching program, no, there's got to be a better way, at least for newer people to get going with real estate investing knowledge. You may be skeptical. Perhaps you've heard that the term hard money is describing a sketchy world of sharks and people that want your property and just a place where you're going to get scammed and you're not going to be a successful real estate investor in hard money. You just are not convinced that it's useful for investing in real estate. Improvement minded. You may have already bought a property, maybe without financing. You really don't want to use all your cash again. You may have gotten through another property with financing, but you feel like the process wasn't great, the terms weren't great, and you want to do better this time and really hone in on how to get financing properly for your investment projects. Let's talk about the BRRRR method for a minute or two here. This is going to be the focus of the course. Whether you're new to real estate and have no idea what this means, or you've heard it before and looking to deepen your understanding, we're going to learn more about this topic as we use what is known as hard money to go through the BRRRR financing process, or the BRRRR investment method. That's a two-step process, starting with a short-term buy and rehab of a distressed property, a lower value property, concluding with the rehab for some period of time. Then you move into the next phase of the project, which is a long-term rental lease with a tenant and a refinance out of the short-term loan with a new long-term financing in place to have a stable long-term cash flowing positive rental situation as a property holding. And then you repeat the entire process. Over time, you would accumulate cash flowing real estate property holdings on a long-term basis. Okay, so the BRRRR method is going to be broken down each step of the process in pretty good detail, not excruciating detail. This is not a 20-hour course. We're keeping it to several hours such that you can, in one full day, complete this course, or maybe 1 hour per day for about a week. We want to make sure that you know the BRRRR method very, very well from a general standpoint, but also the financing aspects of it. That's because the BRRRR method is generally regarded as the most effective and most accelerated way to build your real estate holdings into a source of income and wealth. And remember what we said before, income and wealth is leading towards security and freedom. So my goal in this course is to transform you from a novice on the topic of real estate financing in particular, perhaps real estate investment in general, which we'll touch on a lot, but the main purpose of the course is to get you ready to have financing of a hard money nature, accelerate your real estate activities. We want to take you from a novice investor to an above average, competent, confident, organized, and prepared investor, capable of navigating the complexities of this world of real estate financing and making informed investment decisions, knowing what to expect, knowing how to get it. I want you to become an easy to approve investor that lenders love, having everything in order, prepared, knowledgeable, confident, document ready, and the like. So when real estate lenders are looking at your financing requests for your investments, it's super easy to get finished. And once you do this a few times, you're going to become more and more competent, and you probably will become an expert after 5 or 10 of these, maybe even 2 or 3. You won't need to be an expert on the topic to succeed, but you may just end up there once you get the knowledge and confidence here as you get started. Okay? Okay, let's conclude this lesson by looking at our course overview. We have 9 modules at this time. Let's take a look at each of these quickly. Module 1 is where we are now, the introduction to real estate investing. We're going to cover why you should invest in real estate, the types of real estate investing, and narrow it down to the scope and focus of this course, which, as already mentioned, is the BRRRR method, using hard money to do both aspects of the financing, asset-based financing. Module 2 is getting ready to invest. We're going to talk about finding the right mindset, defining your goals and strategy, assessing your personal financial situation at the moment to see what you're capable of realistically, and also choosing where to invest. Module 3 is the real estate financing landscape. We have a lot of options out there. In this module, we're going to first see why you should use leverage, and that is as a hint, which is to increase your assets that appreciate. We want to look at the various types of money sources out there, such as your own money, banks, private lenders, hard money lenders. We want to talk about going direct, getting the financing yourself, dealing directly with the lenders, or possibly using a professional intermediary like a mortgage loan broker to quickly deliver you solutions from their group of lenders that they work with. Module 4 is preparation and organization. We are going to look at your current credit and liquidity, We want to assess whether you will partner with somebody or not, the pros and cons of partnering, the choice of entity in the business formation, um, things to consider, also insurance and tax considerations. We'll talk about building your team. There are 5 or 10 people that you should really have as teammates, so to speak, on your real estate journey, professional service providers and such, and then finding hard money lenders. We're going to narrow down this course to the hard money lending option, and we're going to talk about how to start working with those lenders, how to find them. That's the type of financing that we're going to use here. Module 5, we finally move into the actual loan mechanics. You can see the first half of the course is all about the groundwork, the foundation to become better at the whole process, and then being prepared to get the loans quickly and correctly. Okay, so module 5, short-term purchase and rehab loan, how the loan works, typical terms and process, application, documents needed to get to the application stage, then the underwriting, then the closing stage, etc. Finally, moving into module 6, we have the long-term refinance loan, which is going to be the culmination of the BRRRR method in terms of replacing the short-term loan with a long-term loan now that it's rented out and producing income. Same thing about how this works, typical terms and process to expect, documents, how to get to closing, etc. Okay, module 7, next steps as a real estate investor. We want to talk about getting beyond this course and how to continue your learning and building your network and knowledge. So perhaps there are other courses to take. Maybe some of those coaching programs could be considered. There are enhanced levels of this course that will be made available, and we'll talk about how to access things like group coaching calls and the like. But in general, moving on from this course to continue your real estate journey. Module 8, technology tools and solutions. We have some recommendation for tools and software to use to make your investing a lot easier. There are many things that are made more efficient by using technology and spending a little bit of money to improve your life, make your investing go more quickly, more easily. I highly recommend it. So there are others that are using these technological tools. You're going to probably have a hard time competing with some of this using pen and paper. So we have some suggestions for some software to use to help you compete and be the most successful real estate investor. The technology is out there. You need to use some of it. Okay. And then module 9 is just bonus content we'll add over time. We want to have this course growing over time. You can come back here, refresh your memory, but we'd like to have some bonus content added over time. We're going to have lender reviews, recommendations, extra content. Things will be added here as a kind of a miscellaneous continual learning module. Okay. There's our course objective and overview presentation. As you can see, we have a lot of ground to cover in the next few hours. So let's go ahead and dive in and get started with that.